Hi you guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to make a slightly mesh mini dress. Here are the things that you'll need as well as the stitches we will be using. I typically don't use the traditional stitches, so you can alternate the stitches that I'm using with double crochet. Also, these are all the measurements that you'll need to make this dress. And if you want to use the exact same colors that I'm using, I am using Big Twist in the colors teal, orange, and pink. To begin, we are going to start with a slip knot by wrapping the yarn around your finger, inserting your hook into that little loop, and using the yarn that's by your second finger to pull up a loop. Once you have that slip knot, you're going to chain 3 by yarning over and pulling through, yarn over, pull through again, yarn over and pull through one last time. To begin making foundation length treble crochet, you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into the first chain from the hook. Once you insert your hook into that chain, you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Then you're going to insert your hook into the next chain. Yarn over and pull up another loop. And you'll have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2. Yarn over again and pull through the next 2. Yarn over one last time and pull through the last 2 stitches. And if you look closely, you can see that slanted bump. You're going to yarn over and insert your hook into that slanted bar. Yarn over again and pull up a loop, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook. And then you're going to turn your work to the side, and you can see that small looking V-stitch. You're going to insert your hook into that V-stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and you'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over again and pull through the next 2. Yarn over one last time and pull through the last 2 stitches. So each time you start your new treble crochet, you want to insert your hook into that slanted bump. So once again, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that slanted bump, yarn over and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into that V-stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and now you'll have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through the next 2. Yarn over again and pull through the last 2. You're going to keep repeating this step until you have your total waist measurement, and for a size small, that is 28 inches. So I'll continue doing length treble crochet until I have 28 inches. Once you have enough foundation treble crochet, you're going to fold your work and you're going to measure it stretched. As you can see, when I measure it flat, it's about 12 inches. But once I stretch it out, it stretches to about 14 inches, which gives me a total of 28 inches for the waist. Now we're going to single crochet both sides to basically sew it together to form a circle. So I kind of just hold the work together and try to match up each of the stitches together so that they can be leveled. You can also sew it and reattach your yarn if that works better for you. And once you turn your work inside out, you'll see that the seam is more seamless on the right side, and it has like the bumps on the back side. From this point, you're going to chain 3, and that always counts as a stitch, and you're going to turn your work. To officially start your first row, you're going to yarn over and place your hook into the bottom of that chain 3 space that we made and pull up a loop. Then you're going to go into the next stitch, not the one that the chain 3 is coming out of, because it counts as a stitch. And you're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and you'll have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 again, yarn over and pull through the last 2. And once again, you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into that slanted stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and you'll have 3 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and now you'll have 4. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2, yarn over again and pull through the last 2. And you're gonna repeat this step all the way around. And I'm just zooming it in so that you guys can get a better look at exactly what I'm doing. Once again, you're going to yarn over and insert your hook into that slanted bar. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the next stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop, and now you'll have 4 loops on your hook. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2 again. Yarn over and pull through the last 2. And as you can see, it makes it slightly mesh. I'm going to do it slowly a couple of more times so that you guys can get the hang of the pattern. But if you got the hang of it, then you can just speed it up so that you don't have to watch me do it this slowly. And now I'm on the last row right before we slip stitch it, and slip stitching is a lot different than you would regularly slip stitch. To slip stitch it closed, you're going to insert your hook into the slanted bar of the treble crochet that we just finished. And you're also going to insert your hook into the bottom of that slanted bar from the chain 3 space that we made. And then you're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2. Then you're going to come back to the top of that chain 3 stitch that we made. Insert your hook, yarn over and pull through all of the stitches that are left. And then you're going to chain 3, and we're going to start the next row. Also, make sure that you are chaining loosely. On the next row, I'm personally going to change colors, and I do this by making a magic knot, which is I put both colors on top of each other. I knot the orange around the blue. And then I go back and knot the blue yarn around the orange one. now that I have 2 knots, I'm going to pull both sides together to form 1 knot. I'm going to yank on it to make sure it's secure, and then I'm going to cut off the excess ends. Now to start row 2, I'm going to chain 3 and turn my work. And once again, I'm going to yarn over and put my hook into the bottom of that first chain that we made. Yarn over and pull up a loop, and I'll have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to skip that one because the chain 3 counts as a stitch. Go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and I'll have 4 loops. I'm going to yarn over and pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2, yarn over again and pull through the last 2. For the next one, I'm going to yarn over again and insert my hook into that slanted stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Then I'm going to insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up another loop, and now I have 4 loops. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. And I'm going to continue repeating this step until I have 4 inches in length. And as I'm nearing the end, I'll show you guys how to do it again. You're going to yarn over and insert your hook into the slanted bar and pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through the next 2. Yarn over again and pull through the last 2. And again, to slip stitch it closed, you're going to insert your hook into that slanted bar that you're in. Insert your hook into the slanted bar from the chain 3 and pull through the first 2 stitches. And then you're going to insert your hook into the top of the chain 3 that we made. Yarn over and pull through both of those 2 stitches. Then you're going to chain 3 and continue repeating this step until you have 4 inches in length. And once again, I'm just measuring the width of this skirt to show you guys that if you measure it flat, the measurement won't be accurate. You have to measure it stretched. And as you can see, I reached about 4.5 inches. So now I'm going to increase to meet my hip measurement. To begin the increase row, we're going to chain 3 and turn your work. Then yarn over and put your hook into the bottom of that chain 3 space and pull up a loop. Skip that stitch that the chain 3 came out of and go into the next stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2 again. And yarn over and pull through the last 2. You're going to continue placing 1 link treble crochet into the first 6 stitches. Once you reach that 7th stitch, you're going to place 2 link treble crochet inside of the same stitch. So that's 1. You're going to yarn over again, insert your hook into that slanted bar, yarn over and pull up a loop, insert your hook inside the same stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through the next 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. So you're going to continue doing that all around, increasing in every 7th stitch. And just a reminder for slip stitching, you insert your hook into that slanted bar of the space you're in and also into the bottom of that chain 3 space and pull through the first 2 loops. Then you go to the top of that chain 3 space, yarn over and pull through all the loops that are left, and then you're going to chain 3 and turn your work. The next row is fairly simple because once again you're just placing 1 link treble crochet in every stitch around. So if you need a refresher on how to do that, then you can just go back and look at how I did it. And once again, to slip stitch it closed, insert your hook into the slanted bar of the stitch you're in and also into the bottom stitch from that chain 3 space, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, insert your hook into the top of that chain 3 space, yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops that are left. And this is what your work should look like so far. It doesn't look like much, but once we do another increase row, you'll see how it starts to slightly flare out. And I'm just measuring it to see if I hit the hip measurement, and I did not. It only stretches to 17 inches and I need 18. So for this increase row, you're going to place 1 link treble crochet into the first 7 stitches. And once you get to the 8th stitch, you are going to place 2 link treble crochet inside of that stitch. And I'm just slowing it down for you guys again so that you can see. In every 8th stitch, you're going to place 2 link treble crochet all the way around until the end. And for the next row, and for every row from this point on, you are going to be doing a regular row with no increases or no decreases, just 1 link treble crochet in each stitch all the way around until you have the desired length. And as you can see, measuring it flat again only gives me about 15 inches. But once I stretch it out, I can stretch it to the hip measurement that I need, which is 19 inches, for a total hip measurement of 38 inches. I did a total of 12.5 to 13 inches in length for the skirt, but you can make it as long as you want. That is the length that I did for a small, and I would probably do that length for a medium also. And if you turn your work to the back, you can see where the seam is and how it looks. So you'll always know what's the front and what's the back. Now for this row, we are going to place 1 single crochet in every stitch by chaining 1 and turning your work. And to start the single crochet, you're going to skip the stitch that the chain 1 is coming out of because we're going to do it at the end. And you're going to insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Don't forget to place your last single crochet into the end where the chain 1 is coming out of, and then you just slip stitch into the first single crochet that you made, chain 3, and again chain 3 counts as a stitch, and turn your work. Now for this row, we are going to start ruffles, and this is optional. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the bottom of that chain 3, yarn over and pull up a loop, and insert your hook back into the stitch the chain 3 is coming out of because we have to make an increase. Yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 again, yarn over and pull through the next 2. And then you're going to yarn over and put your hook through that hump again, yarn over and pull up a loop, and go back into that same stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop again, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 again, yarn over and pull through the last 2. And you're going to repeat this step for each stitch by placing 3 link treble crochet into each stitch all the way around until the end. And once again, to slip stitch at the end, just place your hook into that slanted bar of the stitch you're in and into the slanted bar at the bottom of that chain 3 and pull through 2, and then place your hook inside of that top of the chain 3 space and pull through all loops to slip stitch it together. Chain 1 and cut your yarn off. And that's the end of the skirt portion. And this is what it looks like for me. And now to begin the top portion, you're going to stitch mark the middle stitch in the back, and you'll know which stitch it is because it's the stitch that we sewed together. You should see the tail right in the middle of where that middle stitch is. Now, once you stitch mark that middle stitch, you're going to get your measuring tape and you're going to measure 5 inches on both sides away from that stitch marker. And when I measured it, I stretched it out a little bit, and it was about 7 stitches for me that made up 5 inches. So I personally just counted 7 stitches on both sides. And I'm just counting the stitches in between the markers. I'm not counting the actual stitches that are marked. And once you have those 2 sides marked, you can measure it again. And as you can see, unstretched, it's about 8 inches. But once I stretch it out a little bit more, you can see that the gap is actually about 10 inches. So to begin the first row, you're going to insert your hook and reattach your yarn into the first stitch that we marked. And you can go ahead and unmark the middle stitch so that you don't get confused. I personally just knot my yarn on the stitch. And once you make that knot, you can chain 3. And for this part, you don't turn your work since we're starting at the back and going all the way around to the other side of the back. So chain 3 and continue the same exact steps by inserting your hook into the bottom of that chain 3 that we made. And make sure you're doing it loosely or it'll be hard to insert your hook. Yarn over and pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the next stitch. Yarn over and pull up a loop again, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. And you're going to keep repeating this step, just a regular row, until you go back to the other stitch marker. I'm just speeding it up because this row is pretty simple. Now I've reached my last stitch marker. I'll take the stitch marker off and place 1 link treble crochet inside that stitch. and I'm just gonna pause afterwards to show you guys what it's gonna look like so far. So you just want to continue doing regular rows until you meet your under bust length measurement. And as you can see, that gap, that is for the space for us to lace it up. So once again, you're just going to chain 3, turn your work, and continue placing 1 link treble crochet all the way around until you reach the height from your waist to your under bust. And you're going to skip that first stitch that the chain 3 is coming out of because it counts as a stitch. Make sure you never crochet into that stitch because it will increase your work. Always skip it. So I kept working rows until I had about 8 inches in length stretched. Remember, you always want to make up for the stretch or it'll be entirely too long if you just measure it flat. So from this point on, we are going to increase until we reach our armpit to armpit measurement. And doing this makes it easier to lace it. And decreasing it on both sides is going to make it to where it matches more so to your chest. So from this point on, we are only chaining 1 since we have to decrease. We're going to yarn over and insert our hook back into that chain 1 space. And then we're going to go inside the stitch that the chain 1 is coming out of because it doesn't count as a stitch. Yarn over and pull through 2. Then yarn over and insert your hook into the next stitch to decrease and pull up a loop. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. Yarn over and pull through the next 2, and then yarn over 1 last time and pull through all 3 stitches. That is how you make your first decrease. And for every stitch in between, you're going to just place 1 link treble crochet stitch in each of the stitches. So continue just placing 1 regular link treble crochet stitch in all of the stitches in between until you have the last 2 stitches left. Now that I have 2 stitches left, one of them being the chain 3 space, I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the stitch that I'm in, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and insert my hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and go into the top of that chain 3 space, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over again and pull through 2, yarn over again and pull through the last 3 loops, and then I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work and continue decreasing in the beginning and the end. Once again, to do that decrease, yarn over and insert your hook into that slanted bar, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over again and insert your hook into the last stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 again, yarn over and pull through the last 3. I only decreased for 3 rows or 3 inches of decreases, and this is how it looks right now for me. And as you can see, the decreasing made the top portion to where it only covers your front half, and the other rows with no decreasing covers the entirety of your back. I have a total of about 13 inches in length from my waist to my upper chest measurement, and about 12 to 12 and a half inches in width for the armpit to armpit measurement. Now we're just going to place 1 single crochet to create a border to just clean everything up. So you're just going to place 1 single crochet around the entire edging, placing 2 single crochet once you get to the corners. Here I'm nearing the edge, so I'm going to place 2 single crochet so that it makes it easier for me to rotate it and work all the way down the body of the dress. And now I'm working along the back portion so that we can single crochet over the seam to clean that seam up. And I'm going to go back up the other side of the body portion, placing 2 single crochet at the end. And now that I've made it back around to the front portion, I'm going to place another single crochet into the first single crochet stitch that I already made. And then I'm going to slip stitch at the end and start making chains so that I can lace up the back. For a small to large, I would do about 60 inches of chains. So I would do about 62 to 65 for sizes bigger than that. And for the chains, you're literally just yarning over and pulling through the loops. Once I feel like I have enough chains, I'm going to cut the excess yarn and then I'm going to knot it. Tug on it to make sure it's secure, and then I'm going to pull on a string and then cut the extra string off. I'm going to reattach my yarn to the other side to create a second set of straps so that I can lace it up, and repeat the exact same step, making as many chains that covers about 60 inches of length. Now to lace the back, I don't really have a specific method, but I do always insert my first set of strings into the row before I started decreasing. And then I just kind of eyeball it from here. And once you finish lacing it, you're pretty much done. All you have to do is weave in your ends. Thank you guys for watching this YouTube tutorial. I hope it was helpful.